The Lumpkin County Indians had a historic 2023 season, which has Delana excited for the title defense this year. NGSL and Coach Webb chatted about the upcoming 2024 season. Here's Coach Webb.
Been a lot of fun over the last 2 years. The fact that you see the community come together under football, that's the fun part. Won a bunch of ball games, 20 games in the last 2 years, first playoff wins, first region title, all that. But what people don't see is what's happening behind the scenes with our middle school program that was 9-0 last year, won a championship. They operate under the high school football program. Our rec department operates underneath the high school football program. So we've got a kindergarten through 12th grade football program that brings this community together, and that's what I enjoy the most.
Well, Coach, it seems like last year the excitement from that football season carried on through basketball and spring sports. So it's contiguous excitement throughout the entire year, and it seems like that excitement is carrying into the upcoming first game.
Yeah, so as a fall sport, we get the opportunity to kind of set the stage for the school year. And so our excitement and winning in the fall kind of led over to the winter and the spring, and we take that as a privilege to kind of be able to set the tone, and the winning breeds winning, and so it's been fun to watch.
Yeah, even in the office as I was waiting on you, I heard the comment made, one day to game day, so the excitement is looking forward to each Friday night here.
Yeah, and that's the thing that I have to remind myself to do coming out of the locker room. Take a peek up in the bleachers and just see all those people that are excited, and see no empty seats. That's been really cool to watch.
Well, Coach, looking at this team and as it's evolved since your arrival here, and I'm going to reflect back on the spring game. Lumpkin looks bigger and stronger year after year. Talk about that.
Yeah, so we built this thing on hard work pays off, that mantra that's been heard 100 times now. But we believe it. It's not just something that we say. It's something that we believe. And we know that we're never going to be the biggest, strongest, most talented team on the field. What we can do is build a football team. And so we feel like we've done a good job doing that. Our guys know that they win football games in the weight room. And the weight room makes us stronger and faster as well. And so that we know it, we believe it, we've seen the results of it. And so it's just great to see our team buy into that philosophy as well and watch that thing play out.
Well, in 2023, region championship, first time for the school, made the quarterfinals, which was an outstanding accomplishment. Talk about the players that contributed to that and coming back this year, and maybe who's stepping in to backfill some of those graduation losses.
I mean, obviously Cal Faulkner, you have to mention Cal as, the returning region player of the year is going to be the straw that stirs the drink. He does it all for us on both sides of the ball, and including special teams as our punter and potentially kickoff returner and punt returner as well. So he's going to be highly involved, and we know that. Nolan Matthews shifts from a wide receiver to running back. We think we'll have great things out of him. Trent Mobley, A.J. Scott at receiver. Those guys will do great things as well. And the offensive line, on the offensive side, the offensive line is the piece that, where the question marks remain. Losing 3 seniors on that offensive line, we feel like we got some really talented guys that are, maybe bigger, maybe more talented than the guys that we graduated, but they lack experience. So 2 returning starters, Matthew Reese and Jacob Garmany on the offensive line. We know they'll kind of hold that group together as they gel and the young guys gain experience. On the defensive side, our front seven's really good. Connor Grealick, Zeke Cochran, River Kelly, a lot of good players in there. Patrick Woody. The linebackers, we lost 3 linebackers from last year. But I don't think we miss a beat there because we got some young, talented guys that will step right in. Mike Nichols, Jackson Bell, Connor Bagley. 3 guys that have played a lot of football for us as role players, as special teams players, as backups, that kind of thing. But they've done a tremendous job in the program. All 3 of them have been in the program for 3 years. They know their job, and they're going to go do a great job with it. And then the secondary again. And so some of those guys that are receivers are also DBs. And so A.J. Scott, Trent Mobley, you'll see Mason Hester, who's a backup quarterback, play receiver, play defensive back. Carson Horton, who's a backup quarterback, play receiver, play defensive back. So we've got a bunch of guys that are Colton Lee's another one of those in the secondary. Guys that are playing on both sides of the ball in the secondary and the receiver spots.
And Coach, when I've watched this bunch, and reflecting back to the spring game, you get past the defensive line, that the linebackers and secondary, they seem like they just fly to the ball.
Yeah, and so we've put an emphasis on team speed on defense. We've said we'll sacrifice some size for speed on the defensive side of the ball, just knowing the way the game's played now and the teams in our region, a lot of spread football teams, and so you got to have great team speed. It's okay to sacrifice a little bit of size to get the fastest guys on the field, and so that's been a major focus for us.
Talk about your schedule and your outlook for Region 6 AAA, because you've got a pretty tough non-region schedule this year, too.
Yeah, non-region schedule. I love it. I love the schedule. I love going to Cherokee Bluff. That's going to be a great game to open the season. Hart County again on the schedule. Extremely excited about that. And then to be able to bring in 5A Dunwoody to come here, a playoff team from 5A last year, that's going to be great. So the non-region schedule, I love it. Within the region, we got a lot of quality football teams. We obviously know GAC, North All are going to be good. White County's always good, well coached. Excited about getting the Hall County schools back involved. And so we're excited for what we got. We know Pickens will be a better football team than they have been the last couple of years. They've got a young group at Pickens that are very talented. And so we know it's going to be similar to the way it has been the last couple of years, where the difference between the first place team and the last place team may not be that great.
Yeah. Now, another change this year in the region. I'm accustomed to calling it 7 AAA.
Yeah.
We got to start calling it 6 AAA, but also changes in the state playoff format, where you mentioned we have GAC. We had Wesleyan last year, which wasn't one of the top teams last year, or what didn't win it, of course, last year. But they're not. The private schools are not a factor this year. Talk about, does that change anything for Lumpkin County, and what do you think how it'll impact the state?
Well, I'm glad that we're doing something for the playoff situation for public and private, because we just don't operate the same way, and so I'm glad that something's being done to change it. Glad that we'll have our own public bracket. And of course, I'm saying this getting knocked out of the playoffs last year by a private school, but glad we get our own bracket. Is the formula right? I don't know. It remains to be seen whether we get the formula right. Do we get the system right? But we're stepping in the right direction, and we just hope that through the GHSA and its member schools, we can kind of figure out the right way to get it done. And so hopefully this system works, and if not, we tweak it the right way so that we get the right system in place.
Coach, as we close, your message to the fans for that opening game at Cherokee Bluff and the season.
Yeah, come out and watch us, and we'll show you that what's been done over the last couple of years wasn't a hoax. It's not a flash in the pan, that this program is built for the long run, and we're excited for 2024.
Lumpkin opens their season on Friday, August 16th at 7:30 p.m. That game and all games can be heard on the North Georgia Sports Link.